Hello everybody, I'm Noel, and welcome to one of my favorite games of all time, Hyper Light Drifter. So this is a game that I actually played back on the channel when it first came out. It came out several years ago, and I might put in a clip here or there as I play. But essentially what happened was me and Tom started playing it, and then a lot of stuff kind of happened, and it kind of fell by the wayside, and so we never ended up finishing it. And a lot of stuff has come out since then. It's released on consoles. They've added New Game Plus. They've added Boss Rush mode. So, and I just got to the point where it's like, okay, I really want to play this co-op with Tom, but it's looking like it's gonna be like impossible to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this because, see, when I first started playing it, the game just came out and nobody knew anything about it, and so like I was god awful. In like the 5 videos that I made, I can do that much progress in like this video. So yeah. The background is actually not supposed to look like this. It looks like this because I've actually beaten the game and I've unlocked New Game Plus, and the New Game Plus style is that. Once you beat it, it kind of stays that way. But we're gonna play a new game. I'm not gonna do New Game Plus only because my plan is to do New Game Plus co-op with Tom, because I found that the funniest videos with me and Tom are the ones where we challenge ourselves the most.
There we go.
Whoa.
And now they all spawned again.
Oh no, I thought you were blood! Ah! Where's that shot? Where's that shot?
No, fuck you! Get in there!
No.
No.
Where'd
Listen,
it
I'll
go?
give you I'll give it to you after. Get the fuck in there! Get the fuck in there! Get in there! That's what I fucking thought. No, you're gonna go die. Well.
It just turns into like this laughing mess, and it's great. But for a solo thing, I've never been New Game Plus on my own. I just haven't put the time into it. I kind of like pick up this game every now and then. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play this, and I play in like 9 hours. And I'm like, okay, cool, and I put it away for like a year. But I never. I start New Game. I've started New Game Pluses before, and I was like, nah, it's too hard. So yeah, see, I've gotten like 27 minutes on this version. So we're gonna do a new game. Future Noel. Alrighty. I figured I might as well give Future Noel a little bit of love. He does all the editing. Future Noel, say hi to the audience. So, for anybody who doesn't know about Hyper Light Drifter, because it has been a while since the game has come out, it's possible not many people haven't been introduced to it as of recently. This is a rather popular indie game. It was one of those ones that got crowdfunded on Kickstarter and blew up, and it's made by like a small team of people. It's Heart Machine, and honestly, it's like one of the best indie games I've ever played. It's kind of in the vein of like it's like a classic Zelda almost, kind of a little Dark Soulsy. It's essentially an RPG that's open world, and basically just kind of puts you in there and doesn't give you too much information on where to go and how to do it. But it's also got like some really cool sci-fi elements to it. The soundtrack is just so gorgeous. I like buying soundtracks to listen to. A lot of times I'll like listen to it in my car, or I'll put in videos. And Hyper Light Drifter soundtrack is really good. It's mostly like atmospheric, and so I don't listen to it all the time. But there's a couple tracks that are just amazing. I can't think of the names of them off the top of my head, but when they get played in the game, I'll point them out. Yeah, so Hyper Light Drifter kind of has this really subtle like way of like explaining its universe and its themes. A lot of the messages behind it are they came from the creator. The reason why the company is called Heart Machine is because the main guy behind all of it basically has this heart condition where like he could kind of die at any time because due to his heart. And that's kind of like affected everything in his life. There's a really nice interview about it, and the main character of this game, once you watch the cutscenes all the way through in the beginning, basically he suffers through this illness that basically can kill him at any point, and you have no idea throughout the game. It's kind of like lingering, and it's a good game. I like how there's absolutely no words in this game. There's like runes, but like whenever people talk, it's like mumbles, but it's also pictures. They'll have like pictures and where like a text box would be, and I think that's just so cool. Okay, yeah. See, so our guy is sick. So we're gonna be coming back here a little bit. Funny story. I love this game so much when it came out in high school that I actually made I still have it. It's up on top. It's by my bookshelf. I made a ceramic replica of the little robot companion. It was for this rattle project. We had to make a rattle, so basically a ceramic object that like was hollow, and we could put like little beads in or whatever that would make a noise. And I chose to make the little robot companion because there was a whole bunch. This game has like a huge community for fan art, and a lot of the art showed off different designs of the robot. You know, it's kind of up to your interpretation on like what it looks like, but essentially like it's like this cube-like, you know, floating thing that's got the little 2 antennae. And so I made that, and I love it. It's one of my most favorite things. Yeah, so I always wondered, what happens if you run out of shots there? Do you just have to like restart? Okay, I'm a little rusty. Sorry, guys. Oh my god. I got a trophy for that. So a funny story about the channel. I started doing the channel with Tom, and then for a long time I did by myself, and then I finally found like a groove to like figure out how to do it by myself. Because it's like a lot of work to talk by yourself, play the game, try and like actually be entertaining visually and you know, with the game and like and what you're saying. So like improv skills kind of come into that too. And then I went back to playing with Tom, and I kind of lost a lot of my like standalone skills, and so I just love this shot. This was in the Kickstarter teaser. I wonder, what's that floating building? They don't explain that, but that's a city we're gonna go to. Yeah, so this series is kind of gonna be like a kind of refresher for me to figure out how to commentate by myself. And We're gonna have some fun. Oof. The sound design in this game is just very good. So this is this Pink Knight guy, Pink Drifter. All the characters are nameless, but he's kind of like your bro or whatever. You'll see him like once in every part of the world. You get to crash at his house basically, and later on it just becomes yours. Like he'll give you tips on like where the bosses are. And yeah, he's just a total bro. Okay, so that was the map, I think. Funny story about this mirror. So this is where you later on you can as you might be able to tell. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's the lights. I forgot about that. Later on, you'll be able to change your clothes, your weapons, and your robot. And they look cosmetic, but they actually do certain in-game things, like give you better stats or more stuff. But this mirror, if you break it, it stays like that, so I'm not going to break it. This is like one of the only times they like straight up try and tell you like kind of, you know, what to do. But it's so cryptic, like if you don't know exactly what they're saying, you have no idea what that means. So it takes a little while to like figure out like, oh, am I supposed to collect this thing? Oh, is this the goal? Once you figure out the goal, it's pretty straightforward. Now there's different ways about going about this game. You can start in the north area, which is probably one of the more friendlier areas for combat, except the boss is the hardest in the game. You can go left, which is or right, but those are some of the most challenging as far as like normal combat, but they've got some of the easiest bosses in the game. But I like to go why'd I waste that? I like to go up north because there's a ton of good stuff to unlock, and also it defeating the boss gives you this gun that's kind of important for collecting secrets throughout the rest of the game, and so it's kind of good to nab that first. So one of the things in this game is there's a currency where you basically collect these like bits, and 4 bits will get you like 1 of that currency. And so like you get 4 bits and you get like a coin or whatever you want to call it. Another thing to notice is once you start playing the game and you actually look into I don't think there's anything over there. Once you look into like where secrets are, you start to notice, you basically start to comb the edge of the whole freaking game, because there are tons of secrets just everywhere. For example, and if you see like this little square, it means there's a secret invisible path, and it'll probably lead to money, or maybe a secret shard. Oh, rip that robot. Is there something up here? No. I forget. The beginning area is gonna be a little deceitful. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, that's a secret, and it's not really. Yeah, with those guys, they're 3 hits to kill, but the way that it's all timed, it you can only do it in 2, so yeah. See, like you'd think that's a secret, but it's not. Hello, dear. No, come back. Oh. I don't know why I just used that. One of the things that the money is good for is it'll allow you to upgrade your movement, your guns, your sword, or your health. You can even purchase bombs. And so you want to collect as many of them as possible because there's only a limited amount. So this is a monolith. This is what I was mentioning earlier. There are like runes. Basically, what there's these guys. These guys are hidden all throughout the game in various places, and I still haven't collected all of them to this day. There's a guide. Yeah. So this is this is what I meant by the pictures in place of text boxes. So there's always like a merchant, and he will basically tell you this is where the boss is. Because defeating the boss is important for securing one of the 4 pillars. So you have to collect 4 shards, and then in each of the so this will pop up from time to time. Oh yeah, forgot about this area. Yeah, so you just this game kind of teaches you to like trust nothing and like just keep your eyes peeled, and then I love it. It's one of those rare games. I generally don't enjoy exploring that much. Like I like open world games, but it's generally always like platformer related. And this has a bit of platforming, but like there's so much to do in this game, and it doesn't hold your hand at all, but it's like it's one of the only games where I thoroughly enjoy it. I think it's a part of it is the visuals, part of it's the sound design. I don't know, this game just kind of gets me, and I love it. And bird people. So the each area has like a thing, has like a kind of mob, and so the mountain area has birds, and yeah, I love this. See, it's just like subtle world building like this, where like music goes up, you see the background, you think about the intro with those titans. Why is that giant thing there on the mountain? Why is it dead? You know, all like interesting things to think about. But I forget what I was saying. But I don't know. I think there's a health pack here. Yeah. This game just fascinates me. Like so much, you can tell how much love went into this game. But yeah, oh yeah, I remember. I was describing the mobs. So the mountain area has birds. One of the like tropical area has frogs and plants. See, this is like a foresty area, so there's wolves. But then the actual foresty area, you get wolves a lot more. This is a monolith. And in the southern area, it's kind of all industrial. Like you go underground, so there's lots of robots. It's cool. So down here, monies, and another monolith. The first area is always kind of easy, but then as soon as you get to like the other areas, the secrets start to get a lot more difficult. So there's always like basically in each of the areas, there's always this person that kind of has their own story to tell about the like invading forces. Basically the people that are underneath the control of like the boss that you have to fight. And it's interesting to see it all being told with pictures. It's cool. You basically like get to see how like there's like kind of like this whole like dynamic where like you have these like original natives, and then they get taken over by like these new guys, and you got to fight their boss. So those little things basically, yeah. So here you basically is like he basically did the exact same thing that you did. So he's about as equivalent as you. He's like He's a drifter as well. Although oddly enough, the yeah. So this is a secret. Oh no, okay. I was thinking of another area. This is just where you get money. I just love this game so much. They go into like information about a lot of the other like races, but they don't really go into the drifters, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it adds to like their mystery a bit, but it also I don't know. I kind of wish I knew more, but at the same time, don't really need more. I wish like if you figured out this area, you could just skip that fight. Oh, hello. I didn't know they could go down there. I was about to have some tea. I absolutely adore the combat system in this game. You get ammo when you hit things. So your ammo, so you can't fully rely on your gun. So you have to like go and do things, which is awesome. It makes for a really interesting dynamic when you have boss fights. So here's the one of the main mobs you'll see as the further you go into this area. And you start to learn that there are different mobs that do different kinds of damage. These guys do 2 damage. And so in New Game Plus, you only have 2 life. And so basically these guys will one-hit kill you. And so it's a pain in the butt. Especially since they crowd like this. When I first played this game, I did the majority of it without doing any upgrades because I just didn't know how to do it. And it was awful. It was, I mean, by that I mean like I enjoyed it, but it was hard. With the upgrades, it's so much easier, especially when you get the dash upgrade and the charge upgrade for your sword. It's just so much better. Right here is a secret that we'll have to come back to. So this is what I was talking about. You need a special gun to hit that. You need a laser gun, which you get by defeating the final boss. This is... I could have sworn this was something. I could have... Oh, I know. I think you have to come back there later on. Yeah, you get really good at the gun. Oh, what? Why'd you bring me back here? You get really good at the gun through practice, but at first it is kind of a pain in the butt when you use a controller. But like for the rest of the game, you really don't want to. You really want to use a controller, so like it's kind of a trade-off. It's like it's easier to use the gun on your PC with a mouse and keyboard, but it's easier to do everything else with a controller. So I don't know. I like using a controller personally. Yeah, so it's like subtle things like this. Like you look over and boom, down there you see that there's a secret. All right, so we're gonna fight this guy and we're gonna get to the next checkpoint. This big voodoo bird mama. I just love the idea of bird like magic. It's all, I mean, I hate it when I get hit by it, but it's I love it. It's just, it's so unique. Oh yeah. These guys are a pain in the butt. Wolves, I believe. No birds. These guys are such a pain to kill the first time around. Oh yeah, wolf. Oh my god, I'm so rusty. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So you always want to save your health pack for when you're about to die. Those guys, are, you can, while they're flying, you can, hit them in the air with your gun. But while they're on the ground, you can hit them with a sword. But you can't hit them with a sword while they're in the air, which makes it a pain in the butt, because there's an extra area where there's like 50 of them, and it's like the worst thing in the world. Oh, look at this poor adventurer. So I was talking about by pillars. When you look at the thing, when you look at, let me open up. Okay, so down here is like basically the goal. This is the gate to the final boss. And you notice that there's 4 pillars, and then there's the 4 shards. So you need to get 4 shards and the pillar by being the boss. But there's also extra shards. That they're like bonus ones that you get from, like, instead of beating a dungeon, you can just find them. And getting all of them doesn't change anything, which is kind of sad. But you get a an achievement for it, so that's nice. And sometimes finding the bonus ones are easier than doing the dungeons, because you don't have to you don't have to go through a whole like wave of enemies or like a thing or like a maze to like get it. So all right, so with that, I'm gonna say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. So far I've gotten about like, I've done enough progress that the progress that I've done in this video is more than I gotten in like the first couple of videos that I did for this series. So we're off to a good start. If I didn't die earlier, then probably would have gotten a couple more shards. With that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon.